Welcome back to Marquette Basketball Weekly. Brad Galli here, still at the Union Sports Annex. Talk about sweet revenge in 2003, eh, Kansas? Well, we had your number in 1928. You heard from Dwyane Wade earlier, who was on that 03 Final Four team, about the toughness that's intertwined with Marquette basketball. Well, this week we talked with a few players on Marquette's current team, their head coach, Buzz Williams, and one of Wade's former teammates about what number 3 means to this Marquette basketball program.
When you think of Marquette, you think of Dwyane Wade. Especially, because he's the biggest name to come out of here.
A Final Four appearance, an NBA championship, a Finals MVP, a gold medal. These are just some of the accomplishments Dwyane Wade has achieved in his basketball career. But what D. Wade has done off the court means just as much to the Illinois-born superstar, and his ideals have echoed loudly in the Marquette community.
I'm thankful for what he's done to give back to our institution, not just as a player. He's been vitally involved in some of the other things that our institution is doing, not just specific to our basketball program. And I think anytime anybody talks about Marquette basketball, if you were in the last 10 years relative to what we're doing, that's probably the first person you think of.
I think he's done a really good job in the NBA, not only as a player, but as a person too. So I think he's gonna go to history. He's gonna be remembered at Marquette forever.
It's hard to forget the run Wade and his Golden Eagle teammates made in that glorious spring of 2003. Dwight Bikes, a current junior on Marquette's team, was just a teenager going to school in Milwaukee when the artist now known as Flash put Marquette back on the map.
He did a good job here, awesome job, and it just let everybody know that, things can happen no matter what you do. As long as you work hard, things can happen, success can be there.
One of Wade's former teammates, Robert Jackson, would surely echo that thought. He watched the legend of Dwyane Wade unfold before his very own eyes.
D. Wade is a great guy, you know what I mean? And, to be doing what he's doing and to do what he did to help us, reach our goals at Marquette is unbelievable.
But with all the great work Dwyane has done, now 7 years removed from his time at Marquette, fans have begun to expect the unexpected from number 3. His work with his Wade's World Foundation earned him the USA Weekend's Most Caring Athlete Award in 2007, and he's twice been named the NBA's Community Assist Award recipient. Marquette's current coach, Buzz Williams, finds it easy to have open arms to such a humble star like Dwyane.
Anytime Dwyane wants to come back, he's welcome here. The camp we had this summer I thought was excellent. It gave me an opportunity to spend some time with him, and that allowed probably him to feel a little bit more comfortable with me. But he's great, and we support him 1,000%.
All in all, this Golden Blue Nation knows what Dwyane Wade means to the success of the basketball program. Jimmy Butler sees the respect Marquette fans have for Dwyane when he walks around campus every day.
They still walk around with the 3 on their shirts and the old Wade jerseys, the new ones for the Heat. It's crazy to see how much people really love Dwyane Wade at this school. But history is a big part of Marquette, so everybody loves all the history about Marquette, and he's definitely history at Marquette.
With more on the current state of Marquette basketball, we send it to Todd Warner, who's joined by a very special guest of ESPN.
Here at the Bradley Center after the Golden Eagles defeat DePaul with Coach Fran Fraschilla and ESPN analyst. Now, Coach, DJO, what can you say about him? This guy can take it to the basket, can shoot the ball. What do you think about his game?
Well, I really enjoy watching him play. I actually got a chance to see him in November down at the Old Spice Classic, and he came out of nowhere for me. But when you look at his background, high school championships in North Carolina, played at the Patterson School, then he went on to Hutch where he got really good coaching out there. And I think Coach Williams has got a gem. I really think DJO is going to be one of the best guards in this league his junior and senior years. He already's proven that he's a really talented player.
You talk about Coach Buzz Williams. What about the job he's done this season with an undersized team, under-talented team? Don't you think this guy's a great coach?
Well, I mentioned tonight, he's, to me, one of my 3 Coach of the Year candidates in the Big East. Jim Boeheim, Jay Wright, and Coach Williams. They lost 5,407 points from the Big 3 a year ago, career points. The 1st, 3rd, and 8th all-time leading scorers at Marquette. You liked it, I knew that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And to do what he's done in remaking the program with Dwight Bikes and DJO and the resurgence of Kubian and Maurice Acker, I think it says a lot about the coaching staff, Buzz and the staff, and it's a credit to the players for responding to what I think is a really good coach that Marquette has.
Now the team's at 500 in the Big East after this victory. They've got a favorable schedule coming up. Do you think this team can make the NCAA tournament?
I do think they can make the NCAA tournament without a doubt, but what's been successful for Marquette over the last few weeks is to start what I call a one-game winning streak. In other words, you can look at the schedule and say, yeah, we got some chances to win games. Can't do that in this league. You just got to focus on the next game. They've done a great job after some really heartbreaking losses of focusing on the next game And in doing that, they've put together, a good run here. They can't take anybody lightly in this league, no matter where they're ranked in the schedule, in the standings, because there's just too much competition.
All right. Thanks, Coach, for your time. Appreciate
Pleasure,
it.
Todd. Thank
Reporting
you.
from the Bradley Center, Todd Warner, MUTV Sports.
On Saturday against UConn, Coach Buzz Williams and his staff took part in what has now become an NCAA tradition, coaches versus cancer.
It lets you know that there's a lot more important things going on in the world than the game we're about to play. You're so used to putting on hard-soled shoes, and then you put on leather shoes, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember why I'm doing this. And there's a lot of people that are struggling with the disease, and they're not thinking about a game. And so anything that we can do to create awareness for it is the right thing to do.
In 1993, Missouri head coach Norm Stewart battled cancer and would later beat it. Having gone through that experience, he decided to take the initiative to raise cancer awareness. Last week, all across the country, coaches wore sneakers to do their share for the cause.
Well, I've never had to deal with cancer. I've had people in my family that have had to deal with the disease. I'm all for anything that we can do as coaches or as human beings to help fight the cause.
Michael Wottreng, MUTV Sports.
Junior Cadougan was supposed to be the gem of the 2009 recruiting class. Junior Cadougan was also supposed to be the starting point guard this season. Then, Junior Cadougan out for the season with an Achilles injury. Whoops, not so fast. Junior made a miraculous recovery from his late summer injury, and during December began discovering he was a bit healthier than most had perceived.
Going into Christmas break, I've been doing rehab, and I've been doing extra rehab, getting it in, and I've been in the gym by myself, like doing stuff people didn't know I could do. And then afterwards, the trainer, Ernest Eugene, I told him, man, I could do stuff, I could really do stuff. I started doing workouts with Coach Autry and stuff, and I went into my first couple of practices. I did real well, and then I think I said I'm ready to go.
When Junior was cleared to play, head coach Buzz Williams had quite a few decisions to make. The first was whether or not to activate his Canadian point guard. He did that with ease. The second was whether or not to put Junior into game action, but Buzz acted quickly and did that almost immediately. Except for Junior, he didn't know when that moment was going to come until his name was called, twice.
It was a crazy setup because, Syracuse is right beside home, and my family was there, and, I was like I said, I'm always ready to go no matter what, but that call, at first, the first time he called me, I wasn't sure that he called me. Then he called me a second time, and then Jamie McNeely was like, go, go, go. After I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to go in the game. I won the game. My first possession, I was kind of lost because 29,000, and that's my first game, and, I didn't really know what was going on. Then I got comfortable because, that's where I feel comfortable at on the basketball court.
Spoken like a guy projected to be the gem of a highly touted recruiting class. Junior may not see the minutes many originally thought he'd be getting this season, but his head's on straight and he's looking towards tomorrow.
The more I improve, the more I'm going to play. I like I said, I'm playing this year because if my team really needs me, and I just want to get the experience now. So next year I feel all the way comfortable.
Let's take a look at what Junior's been able to accomplish since coming back from injury. He made his debut in that game against Syracuse January 23rd, recorded 8 minutes of play, but went 0 for 2 from the field. January 26th against Rutgers was a little bit better of a story as he played 7 minutes and scored his first career point from the charity stripe. He did not play in the game against UConn, but did play February 3rd, recording 4 minutes of action against DePaul and knocking down 1 of 2 free throw attempts. Let's now take a peek at when we can see Junior and his Golden Eagle teammates next on the Marquette basketball schedule. This weekend, the Golden Eagles travel out to Rhode Island to face the Providence Friars in what most experts would call a trap game. The Golden Eagles cannot afford to overlook this team that they beat earlier this season. Tip-off is set for 11 a.m. Central. The Golden Eagles' next stop will be back home here in Milwaukee as they get an entire week off to prepare for the USF Bulls. Last season, the Golden Eagles were 9-0 before they faced USF down in Florida, but the upset-minded Bulls took down Buzz Williams' squad in a very surprising victory. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. Central down at the BC.
Be sure to tune in to all your Marquette basketball action on WMUR, marquetteradio.mu.edu. Your home for Golden Eagle basketball.
As we gear up for bowling night here at the Annex, we'd like to thank Dwyane Wade, Fran Fraschilla, and John Saunders for joining us on this week's show. Be sure to check out the Marquette Union Sports Annex for all Marquette games. They throw quite the party right here, every game, every week. only at the Annex. Thank you for watching this week. For Todd Warner, Chris Galki, Jody Dank, Michael Wottreng, and all those who made this episode possible, I'm Brett Galli for MUTV Sports.